Hi, Michelle here. For today's video, I'd like to go ahead and do a little bit of a 2023 overview. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the plants that were my favorites of 2023, rather than doing a December favorites video. If you like today's video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That lets me know that you like this content. If you'd like more planty related content from me, please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you'd like to leave a comment below, please do so. I like to interact with my comment section, so I'll sure get back to you. And for now, let's go ahead and go on to the first Hoya. My first favorite Hoya for 2023 is my meredithii. Now the reason that I am calling this my favorite, one of my favorites, is I had chopped this up. I will see if I can put a video over my body that will show you what this looked like at the time I had to chop her up. So I chopped her into cuttings and I put the cuttings into this 12-inch pot with pon. And it's just grown from there. It's producing leaves like this node right here. All the nodes are now producing growth, and they're getting ready to produce leaves, or they have, like this really dark, beautiful leaf. This stem right here is producing 2 new leaves at the same time, which is pretty exciting. Unfortunately, this leaf right here looks like it got knocked around just a little bit while I was taking the plant out of the Mills bow, and you can see how the petiole is quite yellow. That to me signifies that leaf is going to drop, which is unfortunate. You can just look at the healthy leaf right next to it and see the color of the petiole is nice green to a burgundy color. So my first plant, or my first Hoya, that is my 2023 favorite, is this meredithii. I am going to be putting this up on a trellis soon. It should be very exciting to see what it looks like. I'm just gonna wait for these to get a little longer first. The next plant was one that was very exciting for me to grow this year. And that is my undulata. And I'm looking at it now because I don't really see any root growth. I don't see any growth to the inside the stem, and I see this one little leaf here with this crusty little tip. I don't know if you can see that right there. So that to me signifies there's some sort of maybe a root rot issue going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at this afterwards. But this is definitely one of my favorites for 2023, the undulata. As you can see, it went from, in the beginning when I got this, it had very tiny leaves and not very splashy leaves, as you can see right there. And as it got bigger and older, it grew, and it grew to some of the most beautiful leaves with beautiful pink splashing. It had a growth here. I took the top cutting off. I'm waiting for it to regrow, but it hasn't regrown afterwards. Now that I'm looking at these, I do think I see why, and it does look to me like maybe a root issue. Maybe I need to restart the roots. So maybe I'll put this in tree fern fiber and see what happens to it. But this is definitely a favorite of mine for 2023 because this was my first rare Hoya that I really got to grow on my own, that I got to grow based upon my experimentation and my experience. And it made me feel like maybe I could grow Hoyas after all. Maybe I just wasn't and not very knowledgeable. Maybe I actually did have a couple marbles rolling around up there. So this is my undulata. I've had this since 2022, I believe. And it's just a beautiful plant. It's got this lovely pink splashing. The backs of its leaves, because it had some sun stressing, it's got some purple leaves. I don't know if you can see the backs very well, but it has some reddish purplish tones. So that is the undulata. And oh, I did want to say one thing. The leaves that it came with originally were very small, and that came from leaves in a highlight situation. I put these in a highlight situation, and it grew these very small leaves. When I moved it into a lower light situation, it started producing these much larger leaves. So if I had any advice to you, I would say definitely put this in a lower light situation. The third Hoya that was a real favorite for me, and boy, all of these are empty of water, was a favorite for me for 2023, was this krohniana black. And this was one I got that was an unusual Hoya. I got it at the time when it was just starting to be introduced into my area, and it took off growing for me. It's in a kind of a unkempt kind of a trellis situation right now, because it did have some vines with a lot of no growth. It has nodes, but no growth on those nodes. So this is not the prettiest trellis looking krohniana so far, but it does have new growth. It has new growth right here, new growth right here, new growth right here. So it has new growth on the back here. So it is growing for me, and that's good. This krohniana I really love because the normal color is this dusky green, this kind of dark green, and the leaves are small and thick. But when you introduce it to high light, the leaves get larger, they get thinner, and they sun stress black. So that's really neat. I'm looking at this one. This one doesn't really have any roots in it either. I may have to look at that one too. I think 2024 is going to be the year of the root rot. That's at least for my Hoyas anyway. So the next one on my list for my favorites of 2023 is the krohniana black. This one pulled in the race late in the year. And this one, wow, this one definitely has good looking roots, I'll say. This is the collina. This is the collina IR26. And this is a really lovely Hoya. When I got it, it came to me with leaves like this. And when I exposed it to a higher light situation, it started producing these beautiful leaves. I really love this Hoya because it taught me the way that Hoyas can change how they grow just based on growing conditions, how they can look different and act different just based on a growing condition. So the next one that is my favorite for the year 2023 is the collina IR26. The next Hoya is one that is I've had for a little while, and it is doing very well for me. As you can see, it's really got the peduncles going this year. It's got, let me see if I can free some of them because they got kind of stuck in. Okay, let's see, we got a peduncle right here. We have a peduncle right here. We have a peduncle right here. We have a peduncle here and one here. We have a peduncle here. We have a peduncle here. I think that's all of them. So this one's really sprouted a lot since we've I've last shown her. This is the rotundiflora. I got this as a small little cutting. It was about 5 leaves. So the original stem is still there, but I don't think any of the original leaves are still there anymore. But this is just grown by leaps and bounds for me, and I'm really happy to have this Hoya. This Hoya proves to me that I can do something if I put my mind to it, that I can take care of something, that I can nurse it back from poor health. The last plant I have for my 2023 plants is this GPS 7240. I really love this plant. I wanted this plant for a very long time. I got it for my birthday, so October 2022. I got this as 2 separate little plants. They each had about 3 or 4 leaves on them. So I planted one in the pot going up this little trellis this way, and one in this side of the pot going up the trellis this way. And I kind of made it a race to see who would occupy more of the stem first. The winner was my daughter's plant, grown from a cutting from her plant. So, but it's beautiful, and I finally am getting it to sun stress, which is very exciting. So I'm happy to see that on the top. So I can actually see I have grapes with my GPS 7240. So it's growing. It stays in my Millsbow cabinet. It does like the extra humidity, does like the light, but it's a good grower. It had some root issues that it overcame. So to me, this is a strong little workhorse. So my last Hoya for 2023, my last favorite for 2023 is this GPS 7240. Thank you for joining me today as I went over all of my favorite Hoyas for 2023. I can't wait to show you my next video, which is the Hoyas that I'm going to be looking forward to seeing them grow in 2024. These Hoyas that I showed you today were kind of my look back upon the year to see what my favorite things that grew for 2023 were. My next video will be the things I'm looking forward to seeing grow in 2024. And until next time, I hope to see you soon. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Bye.